What's up, people? It's your boy Slot. In this video, I'm going to talk about American society. It seems like living in America today is just getting worse and worse day by day. It seems like a lot of people here are so miserable that they pretend to be happy. The average American today is just so frustrated. And the reason why people are frustrated, to what I have seen, is due to the fact that they cannot financially take care of themselves. Like, there are so many Americans today who are in so much debt that they can't pay it off. There are some people out there whose debt outweighs their income. And it causes a lot of problems because financial instability leads to anger, stress, and violence. So many Americans today are so aggressive. So many Americans today are so violent. And you ask yourself, what the hell is your problem? But by the time you find out what's really going on in your own personal life, you realize, oh shit. You know, some people are, they're in so much debt that no matter how much they work, they'll still be in debt. You have some people out there who lost their girlfriends, or they lost their wives due to lack of income. Because the dating game in America is totally different. Women aren't dating men who is not financially stable. Because believe it or not, the number one reason for all breakups in America is finances. And when it comes to finances, it's never about having too much money. It's always lack of money. But living here today is just so depressing. You know, a lot of people don't understand why things are the way they are. You know, like, people don't understand, like, to be successful in life, you have to get a skill that's in demand. A lot of people today are so angry that they don't know how to smile. You know, I've met so many miserable people. It dawned on me. I was the most naive person. I was very naive until my mid-20s. Because when I tell people my plans, I want to do that, people told me, hey man, do your thing, bro. Some people didn't care. Like, whatever. No one ever cared. They just said, whatever. If you do, you do. You don't, you don't. Then I meet some people out there, all they do is they actually like complain and get angry, and they try to stop you from achieving your goal. You're like, what the hell? And you ask yourself, why would this motherfucker care about what I do in my own life? But believe it or not, we have this thing called dream killers. These are the people who will tell you what you're doing is wrong, or they try to discourage you from working on your goals. Believe it or not, this shit happens in high numbers. People think, oh, no, it will never happen. No, believe it or not. Even some of your closest friends may low-key wish you do not achieve your goals. Because they're not happy in their own life. Why should you be happy? Like, some people today really hate their jobs. Some people hate their jobs with a passion. They hate the supervisor. They hate being told what to do. They hate doing it, hate doing that. But they can't do anything about it because they're stuck. So think about it for a second. You're doing what you love in your career. That other person next to you hates his job. Why would he be happy for you? Seriously, why would he be happy for you? You're trying to build a business, and your friend out there is in massive debt. Why would he be happy for you to build your business? There's so many negative people that it's scary. Like, I can't even tell people what I do anymore because you have so many haters out there. You know what I mean? Too many haters who will just try to like sabotage and destroy you. You know? So nowadays, I only talk to people who are doing what I'm doing. People who are trying to do what I do, I talk to them about my goals. Because the last thing you need is people criticizing you when they're not going to help you. If you're helping me, you have every right to criticize me. Because if you criticize me, it can help me do my business better. But if you're not going to help me, I don't need your input. I don't need your advice. I don't need you discussing that topic with me. You can't, if you want to start a business, you can't talk to someone who's not trying. You cannot talk to someone who's not trying to start a business. It doesn't make any sense because they can't give you any insight. They can't even help you in any way, shape, or form. They really can't. So that's what you understand. Like, you can't mess around with random people, you know? But I've noticed that living here in America today, people here are so miserable. Like, you can't even joke with people no more. I've said this stuff so many times. You cannot even crack a joke with somebody because they will take it the wrong way. People today are overly sensitive. Say one statement that they don't like, they'll cut you off. Just like most liberals, but that's a topic for another day. I don't mess with liberals anymore. But this is what happens today in America. You can't even crack a joke with somebody. People will actually get violent over a joke. And I'm not saying the joke is even offensive. It's just an ordinary crack. They just get mad. You know? There's some people out there who love talking shit about other people, but say one thing about them, they want to fight. It's totally ridiculous. You know? And that's why a lot of people today, when you go to like some like social gatherings or social events, you gotta watch what you say. You gotta watch what you say. Because some people don't know how to take a joke. There's some people I've seen who don't even know how to have a conversation. You know what I mean? There's some people out there, all they do is like, they listen to you, but they don't really add any input. You know why? Because they have nothing to contribute to the conversation. And the thing about life that's so crazy is that I learned this stuff as I got older, that nobody wants to be around a bitter person. You may have gone through some hardship, you may have gone through some bullshit, but nobody wants to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to hear about your sad life or your sad drama. You may talk about it, but nobody wants to like hear about it every single day. That's why a lot of bitter and negative people always end up alone. They end up alone for a reason, because nobody wants to hear it. You know, like, as I got older, I learned that nobody wants to be around a person who is boring. Like, for example, if I'm talking to somebody, I want to know more about you. I want to know your career. I want to know about the things you've done, things you've accomplished, and your future goals. I don't want to hear about no bullshit ass gossip and drama. People only bring gossip and drama because they can't offer you no wisdom or knowledge. That's the truth. If you're talking to somebody and they only bring up gossip, it's because they have nothing else to offer you. Nothing. Like, I'm a pretty social guy. I'm pretty social. I'm pretty funny to talk to. In terms of like, I can talk to you about any topic. History, politics, current events. I'm an all well-rounded person. But I've met some people out there, they're just so boring. And you never think about it because it never crosses your mind. But when you think about your life, and when you think about the people you've talked to, you're like, okay, I talked to this person. This guy brought some funny stories to me. I want to call him again and see what's up. But some people out there, all they do is they don't know how to talk about anything funny. It's always some negative drama or it's some pointless conversations. And this is why I'm telling you that a lot of times, other people today become unfulfilled. They become depressed. People become depressed over this because as human beings, they say we need social interactions, right? And a lot of times, some people feel useless, right? Let me explain. As humans, you always want someone to depend on you. Whether it's your children, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your friend, you always want someone to depend on you because it shows that people need you. When you feel needed, it helps your self-esteem. It makes you feel wanted. You know what I mean? It shows that people actually need you. But there's some people in this society, nobody needs them for anything. You know what I mean? Like, your kids don't need you, your friends don't need you, your family doesn't need you for nothing. They don't need you, and people feel useless after that. Like, if I go and ask my girlfriend, hey, do you mind if I use your car? Or do you mind helping me out with this? Or you ask your friend, hey man, can you spot me like a $20 up for the week? Stuff like that makes you or the other people, they feel important because people need them. As a human need, we need to feel wanted because it helps with our self-esteem. But there's some people in this society, nobody needs them for anything. Like, people really get depressed over that stuff. How no one asks, for example, like, you can be struggling right now. Nobody will ask that guy for anything. And they feel useless. How come this guy doesn't want to take anything from me? You know? So a lot of times, that's why a lot of times when you see some people, that's why a lot of times when some people you talk to, when they're useless, what do? Or when they feel useless, what do? They start offering you things. They start to offer you things. Hey man, hey, I got you, man. Here's $100. Hey, I got you, man. Let me, I'll give you a ride. They want to make themselves feel important, but in reality, you don't need them for anything. You know? And these are the same people that if you take something from them, they always remind you to make you feel you owe them. That kind of deal. So that's what happens a lot of times, right? So this is the thing that people don't understand. Like, we live in America today that is filled with so much negativity and bitterness to the point where you question your own sanity sometimes. You know? And that's why I'm saying that I met a lot of people here. I met some people here in the U.S. who are immigrants, right? Some of these like African people, and I met some Hispanics, and they know what's up out here. Like, they understand the game out here. They know America is not friendly. They know America is fucked up. The culture's all messed up and shit. They know this. That's why so many of them understand the game in the sense where they work here and they travel. They travel at least two times a month, or once or two times a year. They just travel. Some immigrants I've talked to, they know what's up out here. Some people have even said they're not going to live here no more. There are some Americans who travel to like Latin America, or they travel to Asia, and they never come back. They never come back into the U.S. because it's a whole different world out there. The world is totally different. You know what I mean? It's totally different. Like, I've seen this stuff where some Americans, like, they will travel to Thailand and the Philippines. They get themselves women in those countries, and they never want to come back into the U.S. Some of them don't even ever come back because the culture is totally different. It's like your stress level in some of these countries you go to, you don't have so much stress. Your stress level is so low living in those other countries because they don't have as much problems as we do in America. They really don't. So many Americans today are so miserable that if you talk about traveling, they'll give you reasons why you shouldn't go. And that's based on what they see in the media. But believe it or not, man, like, so many people just travel, they never want to come back. So many Americans, when they travel, like, they don't ever want to come back to the US because America is good for making money. I will never ever say America's a bad country, 100%, but they make money. No, sorry, America's a good place to make money. But in other countries, it's a place to relax. I have a friend of mine right now in Czech Republic. He's so much happier living in Czech Republic than in the U.S. When he was in the U.S., he had so much stress. His stress level was so high when he was in the U.S., but he left back to Europe. He's gone. Some people on here have said that. I think some people have said that they've gone to like other countries like Germany. Some have been to like Brazil, and they're like, the culture is totally different. Like, there's so many like black people, so many black Americans who are moving to West Africa, because I think one country in West Africa, I think it's called Ghana, they gave African Americans a citizenship to come back, and some people have actually gone back and moved to Africa. They moved to Ghana. They are there right now. You know, because when you're in the U.S., you have so many anxieties. You have to worry about your rent. You have to worry about your bills. You have to worry about like creditors. You have to worry about telemarketers. You have to worry about so many different stuff at once. Then you have to worry about your quality of life, because some people work all the time. They don't have any money for vacation. They don't have any money to party. They don't have any money to just chill. They don't. There's some people I've met here, all they do is work. All they do is work all day, all night. That's all they do is work. They have no social life. When was the last time you've been to the movies? When was the last time you went to a concert? When was the last time you went on a vacation? You know what I mean? They don't answer. They have no answer for that stuff. But there's some people I've seen who make very little money, or they don't make as much money, but they just travel. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, people who live in Florida are pretty damn lucky, because they are next to the islands. They're next to the Bahamas. They're next to Puerto Rico, Grenada, and you're also close to like Latin America. I think it's Colombia, and those top parts of South America. So a lot of times, a lot of people just don't understand, like, the stress level we have in the United States is so ridiculous. People don't understand that we work harder in the United States. We work 40 hours a week. I think in Germany, you get paid maternity leave, I think. Don't quote me on that. But you get paid maternity leave. And I think in some European countries also, if you are the father of a child, of a newborn child, they give you some time off as well. You know? America doesn't give you any paid maternity leave. They don't. I think in Canada, they say full-time work is only 32 hours. And plus you get more vacation time. The U.S. vacation time is vacation time in the United States is 2 weeks per year. I think the average is 2 weeks per year. The most overworked society we live in today is America. 2 weeks per year. In some other countries, I read about these European countries. They get, depending on which country you go to, they get about, is it like 6 weeks per year vacation? And you're just like, what the hell? What the hell are we going through? You know? And that's what I'm saying, that a lot of Americans today just don't understand that there's a bigger world out there. And the media doesn't talk about it because they don't want to talk about it. The media only talks about people trying to come in to America. They don't talk about people who are leaving America. Anyway, that's all I can say about this topic. Peace.